Rain hammered down in relentless torrents, soaking my son's thin t-shirt as he curled up on the cold stone steps of a church. His small frame was folded inward, knees drawn tight against his chest, shivering in the biting chill. No coat, no explanation. Just a 10-year-old clutching a battered backpack with a broken zipper, abandoned to the storm. Water streamed down his cheeks, mixing with the tears he fought so hard to hide. They thought that moment, the freezing, forsaken boy, would break me. 3 months later, they stood in a courtroom, their chins lifted high, faces radiating false confidence. But by the time the judge's gavel came down, her tears stained her lawyer's jacket, and he stood pale and trembling, whispering denials like prayers to a God long forgotten. Let me take you back to beginning, where pain turned into a fight I never wanted, but refused to surrender. My marriage to Clara spanned 8 years. It wasn't perfect, no love story ever is, but it was ours, stitched together with shared memories and the life we built. Our son Noah inherited his mother's sharp wit and intelligence, though he carried my reserved nature. When Clara and I parted ways, I didn't contest custody. She claimed she needed Noah more, and I trusted her. That was my first mistake. A year later, Clara introduced Victor into our lives. A man with a grin too wide, a handshake that lingered a little too long. The kind who commanded attention in crowded restaurants and called waiters pal. Noah shrank whenever Victor entered the room. His shoulders stiffened, his voice fading into whispers. I asked Clara once, gently, if everything was okay at home. She laughed it off, telling me I was overthinking things. Maybe I was, until the call came. It was a Sunday evening. I was slicing carrots when my phone buzzed. Dad. Noah's voice was hollow, stripped of its usual warmth. Can you come get me? Where are you, kid? St. Peter's Church. Mom said she's with me now. The words hung in the air, cold and sharp. My hand froze mid-cut, knife catching the kitchen light, as I dropped it and bolted for the door. I drove like a man possessed, windshield wipers struggling against the storm, heart pounding with dread. I found him soaked, trembling, alone on those stone steps. Clara and Victor didn't answer my calls. The next day, a text arrived from her. Since you won't help us, maybe it's best he's with you. Consider a reality check. What she meant was Victor's demand for $30, 000, some murky, no paperwork business scheme cloaked in smug certainty. When I refused, Clara called me selfish, accused me of ruining her happiness. I wasn't angry. I was done funding her mistakes. But abandoning Noah in that storm was more than neglect. It was a declaration of war. I didn't yell. I didn't threaten. I acted. I recorded everything. Took Noah to doctors for physical and emotional evaluation. Reported the abandonment to child welfare. A counselor began working with Noah, documenting every wince, every nervous glance, every flicker of fear tied to that night. I stayed silent, letting Clara believe I was broken, defeated. She sent occasional texts feigning concern. Hope Noah's adjusting. We should discuss custody soon. I replied politely, preserving every word, a growing chain of evidence. Then I dug into Victor's past. A forensic accountant uncovered his history. 3 fraud investigations, a hidden bankruptcy, and an old assault charge. All public records. All admissible in court. I hired Rachel, a lawyer with a razor-sharp mind. She promised we'd build a fortress of proof. They'll expect resistance, she warned, but we'll bring a wrecking ball. Court day arrived. Clara and Victor walked in like they owned the room, his suit ill-fitting, a feeble attempt at authority, her jewelry glittering under harsh courtroom lights. Noah sat beside me, hands clasped, eyes downcast. Rachel laid out our case with surgical precision, abandonment, financial recklessness, the scars left on Noah. She presented medical reports, counseling notes, welfare investigations. Clara's harsh words from that text, consider a reality check, projected across the screen, echoed in the hushed chamber. Clara's mask cracked first. Her face crumbled. Victor scrambled to deflect blame, accusing me of manipulation. The judge raised a single hand to silence him and asked one piercing question. Do you deny leaving your child alone in the storm? Clara opened her mouth, but no sound came. Victor stammered, but the judge dismissed him like a bothersome fly. The verdict was swift. Full custody granted to me. Supervised visitation for Clara after 8 months of parenting classes and a mental health evaluation. Victor was barred from any contact with Noah. Under the table, Noah's small hand slipped into mine, his grip gentle but certain, a silent thank you. Outside, Clara approached, tears carving tracks through her makeup. "You've ruined me," she whispered. I met her gaze calmly. "No," I said. "You did that when you chose him over your son." Victor stormed off, leaving Clara alone, breathing shallow and frantic like a drowning woman. I didn't reach out. I turned and walked away. Now, Noah sleeps in the room next door, his breathing steady, peaceful, safe. Slowly, he's piecing himself back together. I see sparks of happiness returning. When he laughs at his own jokes, sketches cartoons, or gets lost in a board game, Victor's name is never spoken. Noah doesn't ask. There's power in that silence. I don't take pride in what I did. It wasn't revenge, it was protection, and I protected my son. Yet sometimes, in the quiet darkness, Clara's words still echo in my mind. Consider a reality check. It was a lesson, all right, but not for me,